Well, good evening, and thank you for another evening with the West Garfield Park Youth Council. I am so fortunate once again to have the privilege to come out and talk to my dear sister, Tamela, and we're going to be doing tonight. Tamela, I think you said it was okay last time we talked. If we did a education is key part 2.
Part 2, that's very important. So a lot to talk about.
And so it was cool with you, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk, why is education the key to success for young people or for people in general? And I really want to kind of focus this show, if you don't mind, on people of color. Okay. So I'm really specifically want to tackle the issues of young people, young men, and young women of color, particularly on the west side of Chicago, south side, whatever it is. But for the most part, we want to talk about the importance of education, how education is the key, and what can we do to inspire our young people to seek out education, to take advantage of the opportunities in education, to pursue scholarships, to go to trade schools, to get involved in the arts, to understand science and technology. I mean, it is really important, and it is imperative that young people like Amari and Mashayla and all of the young folks that we have around and about us, it's important that you all understand that time waits on nobody.
That's true. That's
and
true.
Right now,
you're not going to be young forever. No.
And right now, while you have an opportunity and you have a support team, a support system of folk who trying to help rally you in the field of education before there's no opportunities. All right.
They will dry up if you don't use them. Absolutely. They say if you don't use them, you lose them.
You lose them. So basically, let me tell you about this West Garfield Park Youth Council. Of course, it's a young collaborative, a consortium of young folks who are actively involved on the west side of Chicago. They're doing a lot of work around the west side and in and out the community on how to reduce underage drinking, substance abuse, senseless violence, networking with young folks, youth and leadership development, a youth organizing. I mean, these are just some young folks, when they all come together and they back on point. I mean, they are really actively involved in the neighborhood. And right now, I have to hand it to them. They have been somewhat, I don't want to say spoiled, but it is the fact that they are somewhat spoiled, because now they're chasing all opportunities to get jobs and to make resources. Of course it is. It's extreme, because they understand now the importance of labor. They understand the importance of putting in the work. And so I'm so proud of them that they're doing what they're doing now to make a dollar and go to school and do what they have to do to sustain themselves, but understand that they can't get anything sitting down. Right. That they have to actually put forth an effort. So Tamela, I'm hoping that tonight we can talk about not only education, but we can talk about how can we engage, enlighten, and empower our young people into being the best that they can possibly be. And you know, we have a theme, nothing about us without us. That's the theme for the West Garfield Park Youth Council.
Say it again.
Nothing about us without us.
Without us.
Right.
Yeah, that's important, because then you have a lot of people who are not us making decisions these days.
For us.
For us.
Well, they won't be doing it in Alabama.
Oh, well.
What you say that for? What you had to go there? What you had to go there for?
Yeah,
it's non-political, sister.
Yeah.
But thank you for voting in Alabama, you know. Thank you for letting it be known that we still hold the keys to some things. But I'm just saying to you, those who did vote in Alabama, way to go. Now maybe if you could do that around the country and get people to the table, let's have some serious conversation about how to be inclusive and how to make sure that we don't leave anybody behind. But that if we really come to the realization that we need each other.
That's right.
Everybody need each other.
That's right.
I joke and jive with folks all the time because I enjoy humor and I like to see people smiling. But the fact of the matter is, I'm pro-people. I'm pro-empowering the people. Right. And so I just happen to be pro-empowering my own right now, all right? Because I know these young folks, if they didn't have an elder like myself to kind of help them out, then they wouldn't have no way out. Yeah. And so I work with all kind of people around and about the city, and I'm not biased about that, but I'm just committed to just making sure that these young folks know the difference.
And they have a good mentor in you, because you actually care, and our youth can tell when it's genuine. They know when someone is looking to fulfill a requirement for an organization.
And
they're
they'll
trying
check you if you're not.
And they should. They should, because as adults we should be held accountable
they'll do it to
for
you.
what we're doing, especially being an influence on our youth. So that's great.
Well,
Fantastic.
we all share and echo some of the same sentiments, and I think the best thing that we can do for our young people is be a true example.
Absolutely.
I mean,
They
sometimes
need that.
absolutely, so many people have duped them and played them and all of that. But Tamela, I want to thank you again. You rock, my sister. We go back and do a lot of stuff together in and around this city, and I just want to let you know I'm really proud of the work that you're doing as the deputy chief of our Senator Van Pelt, who's currently in Africa. They planted a church there.
Absolutely.
And so they're doing their work in Africa. You're a former dean of students. You're an education consultant. You're an author. You're a candidate for your PhD. So you're someone who's committed to education. You're committed to the importance and seeking out education, and education being the key to bringing folks up by their bootstraps and bringing folks up to take it to the next level. So I want to say to you, Tamela, as I always do, when we're in and about doing things that we do, keep up the good work. We really appreciate what you're doing and your compassion for what you're doing, and I'm so thankful that you and I have continuously been in touch with each other to continue to talk about our young people and what we can do to try to empower our young folks.
Absolutely.
I'm just glad we've stayed the course.
Absolutely. I just feel fortunate, blessed to be in a position where I can help and use my life as a mentorship for young people, to show them that you can fulfill your dreams, because it happened for me, and I'm continuously fulfilling my dreams.
So Denise, thank you for tuning in. Herbert, and it looked like Betty. We're talking about education is the key.
And tell some more people to tune in Facebook Live.
I guess they say share it.
Share it.
So listen, we're talking about why is education the key for success with our young people and people in general. We're trying to encourage tonight the importance, or folks understanding the importance of education. So call in and let us know why you think education is important. And not only that, we're talking about we want to create entrepreneurs.
That's right.
We want to create young folks who are not afraid of the arts and sciences.
That's right.
We want doctors, we want lawyers coming out of our neighborhood, because they can be that. And I believe that there's nothing that these young people can't do. Let's get a caller in. Caller, you're on the air. We have Tamela here, who's representing so many different entities tonight. But right now, we're working with Tamela tonight, not on the senatorial side. We're working with her tonight in relationship to being an education consultant, an author, and a former dean of students. And we're talking about the importance of education. Now, if you want to talk to her in relationship to the other stuff, in relationship to the Senate and all that other stuff, you have to call her at the office.
Right.
We're not using this show for that tonight. If that's okay with you?
That works. That works.
So, caller, you on there, your comment or question, please.
Yes, first of all, I want to commend both of y'all guys. I've been looking at y'all so long.
Yeah.
Is that Joe?
And this is Steve.
Steve, that's right. It used to be Steve and Joe.
Yeah.
Joe and Steve. Go ahead, Steve.
Listen, first of all, I remember when you used to have your son on the TV show many years ago.
Yes, sir.
One thing for sure, they always say, you don't listen to people's mouth. You look at people's footwork.
Yes,
you
sir.
did a heck of a job. And the young lady, I remember when you used to have your show.
Yes, I used to call in, too.
Yes, I did. And I even remember you with Mark Stevens a
That's
couple of
right.
times. But listen, let me tell you.
Well, we remember you too, Joe. Steve. We
Friends of the show, right?
remember you and Joe used to battle back and forth on the show all the time.
Yes, we did. We really did. And I hope that Joe's, if he's listening, Joe, I hope everything is good and safe with y'all.
Yeah, but Steve, give us your question. We're talking about why is education the key to empowering our young people?
Well, education comes in so many different ways now.
Okay.
I mean, it's not just like as it was when I was a kid. You go to school and you learn. But now these days, kids are learning much quicker. They're learning about the world a little bit quicker. And that's a real good thing. That's truly a good thing, because they cut out so many programs now that they don't have. You just mentioned some about Alabama. And I don't even want to get into politics, but maybe a man brought everybody together to realize we need to have a change. And sometimes that's what things happen, a change. That man is at the top of the United States have made things so rough. And now the young people are listening.
They are listening. They are listening.
I heard some young people talk about politics, and I haven't heard young kids.
Joe, Joe,
Steve.
I'm going to say forgive me. I keep calling him Joe. Steve, forgive me. But Steve, this is what I want to ask you. We want to talk specifically about why is education important for our young people, and how can we encourage and nurture more young people to, if they're not feeling comfortable in the academia, that they go into trade, that they go into the sciences, that they go into entrepreneurship. What we want them to do, not be afraid to crack a book. All right?
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily saying that this technology is not good. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the way it's being used is not good.
Well, let me tell you something real quick about my 2 great-grandchildren. One is 7 and one is 8.
And they can beat you on the computer.
Everything, no computer, no tablets. I teach them they have to do homework. Sure, I have everything here, what they need to have, but I teaches them this. Man could take everything in the world from you, but he can't take knowledge away from them.
All right.
I always tell them that's the key to success, to gain knowledge. And I think people at home, parents at home should be able to do this. And if parents ain't doing it, maybe the man next door, the uncle of someone who depends on helping our youth, because that's where our future is at, is in the youth.
Okay, Joe, are we going to
Steve,
man, why I keep saying that? But
I'm helping him, Steve.
Thank you.
We got
Thank
this.
you. You know what I mean, all right? You know what I mean. So you know I mean well, Steve.
Steve.
All right. So call Joe though, Steve.
Okay.
But anyway, thanks, Steve, for calling. And get back on the line and come on back up. And I want you to talk specifically about what's the importance. Why is being an entrepreneur important, or why is the young folks who may not succeed in the academia in the regular school system, why the arts and science, or why arts and technology or the trades might be a better opportunity.
Well, you know what I want to share.
He said something about parents too. Now,
and I was going to say that, community, not just parents.
Hey, Judy.
Community
and
is
Lance.
extremely important when you talk about education, because I think about even my own personal experience. There were people within my neighborhood, in my family, who were not educated. Meaning they did not have a college degree, but they still understood the importance of education. And every time I saw them, they were asking questions about my education. They wanted to know that they were vested in that, and they wanted me to continue to move forward. When we lose that sense of community, when you're out there, just maybe the parents who may not know about education,
or
they don't care, or you don't have many people pushing you, then it doesn't become really a priority for our youth, and they just say, well, if my family doesn't care, if my community doesn't care, why should I continue on?
You know, it's funny you brought
and that was the right thing what you just said.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. But here's the thought I just had. I was talking to some young. Get back on the other line. I forget. Get back on the other line with us there. The young people didn't let them off yet. But anyway, I was talking to some young folks today, and I was inquiring why they feel that education is not important, or why do some young people believe that education is not important. And they was telling me that because most young folks now are into that microwave. They have a microwave mentality. They want everything now. They don't want to think
right away.
Okay, let's get a caller. Caller, you on there?
I want to address it after I call her, though.
Caller, give us a call. Give us the comment and questions, and then Tamela going to take it to the next one.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Go ahead, caller.
My name is Ray, and I want to say this: when you say people of color, are you talking about black and brown?
Absolutely.
Or are you just talking about black?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if we were just saying black people, I think
I say of color. I didn't say black.
Yeah.
I say of color.
You did. Of color.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people don't think about black and brown, but because the only time it seems that African American people talk about brown people is when they need something from them. They need their help. They need their vote. Other than that, they forget about the brown man.
Well, Ray,
let's talk about that. How does that relate to education, though?
Well, Ray, don't leave yet. Let's have some conversation. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think your comment is valid because it's how you feel. But I want to kind of talk about it in more detail. So we're talking about it when it comes to education.
We're talking about. Go ahead.
Right. So can you drill that comment down? We're talking about education and the importance of education, where you say that brown people are not thought about until black people need them. How does that fit in the box of education?
That's positively true. But let's get past that.
No, we can't get past that because that's what the show is about. The show is about education. So again,
education, right?
Huh?
Tell me about education. let me tell you about education. In a perfect world, everything you say would be great. But it's not a perfect world. People don't have fathers. People don't have, anybody to show them how important education is.
Understood, but what is...
But hold on for a second. Hold on.
Yes.
Look, Ray, and stay on the phone. We don't want you to leave. That's what we want to talk about tonight. We want to talk about education with people of color, however you want to deem
and
color.
And don't forget to put the importance, because education is a state and a city mandate, but we want to talk about the importance of it.
And so what we're trying to do tonight, be it if they Latino, brown, or whatever they might be, we're trying to talk about folks who have been disenfranchised from education or been duped or ran amok and who don't understand the importance.
Right.
That's all we want to talk about tonight.
The
importance of education. So if that means that they're Latino, that means they're African, that means they're Asian, or whoever they might be.
They fit under that umbrella.
They fit under that piece.
But I want to address something that when you talked about earlier before our caller, you mentioned how our youth are not really interested in education because they're looking at it from a microwave perspective. They want things to happen right away.
Right.
Something else you have to think about too. Look at the millionaires that have started businesses in their bedrooms or in their garages, and they've dropped out of college, or rappers who've never gone to college, or entertainers who've never gone to college. Our youth see that as an example and say, if this happened for this person, then how come it can't happen for me? Why should I go to college?
Well, and that's what we're talking about tonight. And thank you.
It doesn't happen to everybody. We have to have something to fall back on. But it's important to know that you see that movie star or you see that person who doesn't have the degree, there's a team of people with several degrees behind them that makes them look good. And that's really, in essence, where the money goes. If you think about it, these people are making just as much money.
So cut through the chase, then, Tamela. What's the topic? What's the thing or the premise behind this show tonight?
Well, we're talking about the importance of education. Simply put.
Simply put. And we're basically saying education is the key.
It's key. And I'm not saying this from somebody who does not know. I'm saying this from a person who was a product of the West Side, where my parents divorced very early on, where my teachers, I think I said this on the last show, told me that I was going to end up as a statistic, meaning teenager pregnant, not because of my academics, but because of my address. So it was assumed, because my parents had split, that I was a black girl living on the West Side, that the only thing that I was suited for was to be...
Excuse me. Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
I'm glad that you guys set me right, on the right track. You're exactly right. The only thing I says is you can always fall back on education.
Well, we just want you to know, Ray, and we appreciate you too. And you know, we talking, we having some fun, but we really serious about the fact that we believe that for anyone to be empowered, they must be educated.
Absolutely.
So we're saying on this show, we're focusing on the importance of education. Now, to whom it may concern, get educated. And all of your getting,
it's important.
Get an education.
It's important.
So we're telling our young people that. So thank you so much, Ray. And if you have another question or comment, please call us back.
We're hot tonight.
We're hot as a firecracker. Thank you so much. I think we got Kim on the show. Thank you, Kim. We got Antonio. We got Betty. So call on in. We're talking about education. Come on, caller, you on there with our special guest, none other than Miss Tamela.
Okay, listen, guys, you're talking about the education. The education is the key to success, but the playing field is not even. As when we was younger, you had all different kind of classes, science, trades, and things of that nature. When you was younger, at least when I was younger, you could get fired from a job and go down the next street.
I got a question, though, Steve, here go the question for you. How can we engage more young men to be involved in the education system? How about that?
I want to address that too when we have a chance.
Go ahead, Steve. How can we?
The number one thing that we have to do is get politics out of the educational school. We need to get educators, people who know about teaching and learning. Keep politics out of the Board of Education. Look, some schools don't even have genomes.
Okay, I got to stop you because she want to talk to you about that. Go ahead. The question is, how can we engage more young men in the system, in education and or the arts and or the trades or and in legal entrepreneurship.
Yes, legal. I like that. Now, you know, if anybody who's watching knows me, I am an avid reader of anything that's about Dr. Martin Luther King. And it's because I just believe that he was just a man before his time, but he was needed, you know, and educated black man, and really had a heart for people, especially the poor people. And Dr. King said in one of his writings that oftentimes people in leadership make decisions for black men without even taking the time to get to know them. I was having a conversation with a young man yesterday. He's a West Side gentleman, and he said that he was bothered by how so many leaders, adults, make decisions for youth, but they never even talk to them to see what they need. So I would say, and just in my commentary, that we need to, as educators, as community organizers, as those who feel that education is important, we should have a forum with youth to find out where the deficit is. Why don't they go to school? Why are they truant? Why are they bored in school? A youth summit to really find out what they need, opposed to making decisions because we think it's what they need.
What about this? Now, and we got another caller, and I want you to take this caller. What if we work together and we put on, in the very near future when the weather's better, a youth and adult summit?
I've been trying to do this for about 7 years and could not get the partnership that I needed to do this. And I have I have notebooks for this actual summit. Yeah, long story short, I'm ready for it. Let's do it. We need to.
So we're looking for those who would like to be a part of our youth and parent education or empowerment summer, where we're going to have the educators, and we're going to have young people, and we're going to have parents, and we're going to come together, and we're going to talk.
Not political, not saying what you think you should say. We want you to be able to put it out there.
But we're going to come
in a positive way.
We're going to create a strategic plan, an action plan, a logic model,
a follow-up. What's going to be next after that?
So let's get the next caller. Caller, you on air. You're coming to question, please.
Yes, hello?
Yes, you're on the air. Your comment, please.
Hi, yes. Well, my comment is basically this. I'm a teacher for the Chicago Public Schools, and I teach high school, but I've also taught grammar school. And I think it's really important for kids to learn about themselves. You know what I mean? Because that's where the fractures start happening about 4th, 5th grade. You know, they learn about themselves and what their passions are early on, rather than going like, okay, now you're a senior in high school, what do you want to do the rest of your life?
Too late by then.
And that question is so massive to the young, our young kids. And I've worked on the west side and the south side, you know, and the kids are absolutely wonderful. They just they beam in school, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade. Then all of a sudden you start seeing something happening, you know, and it's like,
what's your name?
Of course, my name is Chris.
Chris, we want to thank you, all right, for your passion in empowering young folks on the west and south side.
He's absolutely right.
We want to thank you for that. But give us a question, Chris.
Well, I guess that was just a conversation stirrer.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to talk about like ideas, or if anybody else out there has ideas on how we could start developing passions in kids earlier. And you know, like for instance, the math classes that they have, a lot of them teach like a concept every single day, and so the kids never really get a grasp of it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we had it, but do I know it?
Okay.
It's like the doctors that are certified that are good. Like, oh my God,
you're
certified.
We want to thank you for that call, Chris.
Chris is absolutely right, because when you know about yourself, then that encourages you to want to have a sense of self-pride and want to do better. He's absolutely right.
And we appreciate that. But listen, for more information about the West Garfield Park Youth Council, give us a call at 773-287-5821. And we want to thank you all for calling in, those who are on the line, those who are Facebooking us live.
Hey,
we got messages saying parents must be actively involved in the education of their children. Parents need to encourage their children and not be friends with their children to pursue higher learning. And so we want to thank all of you who's been watching. I want to thank you, Tamela, as always. And Tamela and I have just came together. We made a pact that we're going to create, and which we already doing.
We need more time. This isn't enough time.
We're already doing a lot of stuff. But if we need to do a 3, we do a 3.
Yeah.
Because this is important.
Yes, absolutely.
And so what we want to do is we want to continue to let folks know that if you want to do better, if you want to do better, you got to know better, all right?
Yeah.
You can't be what you can't see. So if you want to be better, you have to train yourself. You have to educate yourself, because nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. We want to thank all of you all for watching. Happy holidays, Feliz Navidad, Happy Kwanzaa, all of that other good stuff. Thank you, Amari. Thank you, Omari. Thank you, all of you good people. Marshayla, thank you, Amari. And thank you, Brenda. Thank you all for what you're doing. Listen, continue to be a blessing to each other. We can do these things and much more if we love each other, forgive each other, and support each other. And so until next week, keep the faith, keep doing the good work that you're doing. Thank you for the stimulating conversation, Tamela. And thank you, good people. I think we're going to have to do another one, because this topic is rather hot.
It is.
So what we're going to do is we're going to keep pursuing the education key until somebody understands that we ain't playing, and we'll see you on the other side. God bless you. Good night. Keep the faith, and we'll see you until then. Good night.
Bye.
Happy holidays.